Good morning everybody. Now we're going to go ahead with the next problem on payback period. In the previous video we have solved two problems of payback period. One was when the cash flows are not uniform, but the initial investment was found, the amount of initial investment was found in the cumulative cash flows, the exact amount was found. Next one was when the cash flows are uniform throughout the period, we use the formula to find out the payback period. That is total investment divided by the uniform cash flows per year. Now we are going to go ahead with the third type of problem that might come for payback period. Okay. Now let's check what is this problem. Calculate payback period for the following. Okay. Year is given 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and cash flows after tax are given, that is minus 50,000. So yesterday we have discussed what is this minus 50,000, that is for the 0 period, means it is initial investment, that is a cash outflow. Then 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 and 50,000 are the cash flows respectively for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first thing what we do is, first of all, the cash flows are not uniform, so we cannot use the formula. So we have to go ahead with calculating the cumulative cash flows. So how do we calculate cumulative cash flow? First one, it would be 10 years itself. 10 plus 20, it would be 30. 30 plus 30, 60. 60 plus 40, 1 lakh. And 1 lakh plus 50 gives you 1,50,000. So this is how you calculate the cumulative cash flows. Now you have to just pay attention. First of all, what is the initial investment? It is 50,000. Now, can you find 50,000 in this cumulative cash flows? No, it is not available. So when the initial investment is not available in this cumulative cash flows, that means your answer would not be a whole number. It will not be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It would be 2 years and some months, 3 years and some months, 4 years and some months. Okay, so always remember this. Your answer would be in decimals or in fractions when the initial investment is not found in the cumulative cash flows directly. Okay, now how do we get this value? First of all, find where your initial investment will lie. Now initial investment in the cumulative cash flow will lie between 30,000 and 60,000. Correct? So it will lie between the second year and third year. If 60,000 is of third year, 30,000 is of second year. So your answer would be in between second and third year. That means your answer would be 2 years plus something. That means 2 years plus some months. Now we need to understand how many months. So I hope you're clear that your initial investment lies between these two cash flows, that is 30,000 and 60,000. Okay. So if you consider 2 years, your cash flows would be, total cash flow that you're collecting is 30,000, which is not enough for us because we require 50,000 for payback, but we are collecting only 30,000 in 2 years. If we go to the third year, if we consider complete 3 years, then we are getting more than 50,000. So it cannot be 3 years also. So it has to be between second year and third year. So your answer would be 2 years plus. Now how many months? Let's see. Now in 2 years, how much have we collected? 30,000. That means total initial investment is 50,000 minus 30,000, which we have already collected in 2 years. That is 10,000 in the first year and 20,000 in the second year. Totally it is 30,000. So 50,000 we want, out of which 30,000 we have already collected in 2 years. So remaining we want 20,000. Now when are we going to collect this 20,000? In the third year. But do we require the entire 3 years? No, because if we consider entire 3 years, then we are going to collect 30,000 rupees for the entire third year. But we don't require 30,000. We just require 20,000 out of this 30,000. So how do we get this? Okay, so consider two variables. One is cash flows after tax and another is months. So in the third year, the total cash flows are 30,000. Okay, in the third year, the total cash flows are 30,000 which we have considered from here. Okay, for 30,000 you require 12 months. 1 year is equal to 12 months. We are converting the value into months, so we are considering 12 months. So for getting this 30,000 we require 12 months period. How much do we want? We want only 20,000. So for 20,000 it would be how much? So cross multiply, it would be 20,000 into 12 divided by 30,000. We get 8 months. So is your answer 8 months? No, your answer is not 8 months. Your payback period is 2 years plus 8 months. So 2 years and 8 months is your payback period. I hope you're clear with this. Let's take one more example to make it more clear. Okay, so calculate payback period. Years again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 10,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 and 5,000. Okay, so what is minus 10,000? Yes, it is initial investment because it is given at 0 period and it is minus, so it is initial investment. Okay, then we have to calculate cumulative cash flows because again the cash flows for year 1 to 4 are not uniform, so we cannot use the formula. We have to go for cumulative cash flows. So how do we calculate cumulative cash flows again? First year 2,000, 2,000 plus 3,000, 5,000, 5,000 plus 4,000, 9,000, 9,000 plus 5,000 is 14,000. This is how we calculate the cumulative cash flows. Now, can we get this? Do we get this 10,000 directly in the cumulative cash flows? No, it is not available. We cannot find 10,000 value in this cumulative cash flows. So again, your answer would be a fraction. But where? First, try to find out where does this 10,000 lie. Does it lie between these two? No. Does it lie between these two? No. Then it lies between 9,000 and 14,000. So 9,000 means how many years? It is 3 years. So you require 3 complete years. So 3 years plus some months. So how many months is what we need to calculate, because your answer is lying between 3 years, 3rd year and 4th year. So it is 3 complete years plus some months. Now how many months? Let us understand that. Okay, how much is the initial investment? 10,000. So totally we require 10,000, out of which in 3 years we have collected 9,000. So how much more do we require out of 10,000? We have already collected 9,000 in 3 years. So we require 1,000 more. Now if you consider the full 4th year, in the 4th year you have collected 5,000 rupees totally. Do we require 5,000 rupees? No, we just require 1,000 rupees out of this 5,000. Okay, so how do we get that? Again CFAT and months. For 5,000, okay, we require 12 months. So for 1,000, okay, for 1,000 we require how many months? So your answer would be 12 into 1,000 divided by 5,000, that is 2.4 months. So is this 2.4 your final answer? No, your answer would be 3 years plus 2.4 months, that is 3 years and 2.4 months is your answer. Guys, the most confusing thing in this is getting this particular value, these two values. Okay, so I'll just repeat these two values. So I'll just repeat how do we get that value. Okay, so 50,000 is the initial investment. It lies between these two values. Okay, so it is 2 years and some months. So 2 complete years. So we have to consider 30,000 rupees. Totally we require 50,000. So out of 50 we have already collected 30,000. So what remains? We require 20,000 more. Now coming to the next year, that is 4th year, because it is 3rd year, because it is lying between 2nd and 3rd year. So coming to the 3rd year, the total cash flows are 30,000. Do we require 30,000? No, we just require 20,000 out of it. Okay, so how do we get 20,000 out of this 30,000? By using this comparison. For 30,000, this entire 30,000, we require 12 months. So for 20,000, it is how much? Once we get this, we get the number of months. So it is 2 years and 8 months is your answer. Similarly, over here, 10,000 is not found here, but it lies between the third year and the fourth year. We can see it over here, third year and fourth year. So 3 complete years. So in 3 years, how much do we collect? 9,000. How much do we require? 10,000. So out of 10,000, 9,000 we have already collected. So how much more do we require? We require 1,000 more. And from which year are we going to get this 1,000? We are going to get it from the fourth year. In fourth year, totally we have 5,000. Do we require 5,000 again? No, we don't require 5,000. We just require 1,000. So for 5,000, it is 12 months. For 1,000, how many months are required? So it is 12,000 into 1 divided by 5,000. So answer comes to 2.4 months. So what is your final answer? The final answer would be 3 years and 2.4 months. I hope you're clear with this calculation of payback period when the cash flows are not uniform and the initial investment is not directly found in the cumulative cash flows. After understanding the payback period, I hope you're clear with the payback period, we are going to go ahead with the next part, that is accounting rate of return or average rate of return, commonly known as ARR. So what is ARR? Average rate of return or accounting rate of return, or I have also told you sometimes it is also called as return on investment. So what is it? It is the percentage rate of return that an investment earns. So once you are investing something in a project, what is the percentage return that particular investment is earning is given by average rate of return. The formula for ARR is average income divided by average investment. It's a very simple formula. So how do we get average income? It is summation of cash flows after tax divided by number of years. That is how normally we calculate average. The summation divided by the number. Okay. So summation of cash flows after tax, it is the summation of all the cash flows divided by the number of years. What is average investment? Average investment is initial investment divided by 2. A simple formula to calculate average investment. Though there is one more formula which is used to calculate average investment, which we will be studying in the next part. Right now, what is average income? It is summation of cash flows after tax divided by number of years, and average investment is initial investment divided by 2. So let's calculate ARR for this particular problem. Now what is given in this particular problem? They have given year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you observe, 0 is not given. That means initial investment is not given over here. Okay. Then calculate ARR if initial investment is 50,000. So initial investment is given over here. So instead of giving 0 period and minus 50,000, they have separately mentioned initial investment as 50,000 over here. Okay. Now, how do we calculate ARR? To calculate ARR, the formula is average income divided by average investment. So first we need to find out average income. So what is the formula for average income? It is summation of CFAT divided by number of years. So first we have to find out the summation, that is 10,000 plus 10,450 plus 11,800 plus 12,250 plus 16,000 will give us the summation of cash flows after tax, which is 60,500. So average income would be summation of cash flows after tax, that is 60,500 from here, divided by how many number of years? There are 5 years. So divided by 5. So 60,500 divided by 5 gives you 12,100. So your your average income would be 12,100. Similarly, let us calculate average investment. How do we calculate average investment? It is initial investment divided by 2. So what is the initial investment? It is 50,000. So 50,000 divided by 2 gives us 25,000. So now we have got average income, we have got the average investment. Divide these two to get the ARR. So what is ARR? It is average income, that is 12,100, divided by average investment, that is 25,000. So your answer would be 0.484 or 48.4%. So your answer is 48.4%. That is your ARR. It's the most simplest method amongst all the methods that we are going to use in investment decision. I hope you're clear with what is ARR. In the next video, we are going to study more about ARR and then go ahead with the other discounted methods of investment decision. Thank you.